So, Linden Lab sold Tilia. Brad nearly cried. I almost felt bad. But don't worry, your Lindens are safe, your password probably isn't, and no one's touching the Lindex. Let's unpack this weirdly emotional boardroom plot twist. I attended a Zoom group call with the Linden Lab team to get the lowdown on something that could sound scary, but really isn't. The acquisition of payment platform, Tillia, by Global Cross-Border Payments. Powerhouse Tunes. Yes, that's tunes with an H. Not to be confused with a typo, a medieval lute band, or your second cousin's SoundCloud DJ alias. At first glance, this sounds like the kind of corporate reshuffling that makes everyone clutch their marketplace balances and start panic Googling how to cash out fast. But the call, featuring Brad Oberwolf, Kermit, the product guy, no, not that Kermit, Strawberry, Kira from customer support, and a solid crowd of about 60 plus creators and residents was surprisingly honest, human, and even emotional? Yeah, about that. Brad got emotional, and I almost felt bad for teasing him. At one point, someone commented that Brad sounded nervous. His reaction, surprisingly vulnerable. He admitted he was nervous because anytime he does something big for Second Life, no matter how well-intentioned, he ends up getting bombarded with angry emails. And not just feedback emails. Think Shakespearean curses with a side of caps lock. He said, "Not one thing that I've done for Second Life, not a single thing that I have put myself on the line for, have I not gotten beaten up for." That hit. And I'm sitting there thinking, damn, do I feel bad now for all the times I've made fun of him in my videos? Okay, look, I said almost. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What actually happened? Linden Lab is offloading Tillia because they were never built to run a high-maintenance, regulation-heavy fintech company in the first place. They only created it out of necessity to handle the very specific way Second Life money moves around. You buy Lindens, you pass them around in-world, someone cashes out. Doing that legally and securely in multiple countries? It's a whole beast. Think lawyers, compliance teams, and Brad stuck in meetings where no one gets to say prim. Enter Tunes, a company that already does all that, and better. They're global, they're equipped, and they're not guessing their way through US and international financial law. So Linden Lab struck a deal. Tunes acquires Tillia and renames it to Tunes Financial Services LLC. Linden Lab gets out of fintech hell, and we all get better tools in the long run. What changes for you? Right now, almost nothing. Here's what you might notice. A checkbox to confirm the name change. Don't worry, it won't summon a demon. You may need to re-enter your credit card or reconfirm a payout method if you're using one. Skrill is still complicated, no promises yet, but it's on the wish list. More global payout options are coming, especially for countries like Turkey, Brazil, and Poland, where payment infrastructure has been a mess. What you won't notice, any change to your balance or your ability to buy or sell Lindens, any loss of access to current payment methods, unless something breaks, which they're bracing for in a maybe 20 people kind of way. The Lindex will stay firmly under Linden Lab's control. Tunes isn't touching your exchange rates, so why bother? Because this move lets Linden Lab stop pretending to be a fintech company and go back to doing what they're supposed to do, improve Second Life. They admitted that the time, money, and people they poured into running Tillia came at the expense of other improvements. Now, the same internal team that was tangled up in compliance red tape is going to focus on things like faster, more secure payouts, improved account protection, and fraud detection. finally doing something about that scary support backlog. Speaking of which, the elephant in the inbox. Support is still a mess, mostly because of a wave of account takeovers. People are still clicking dodgy links, entering their credentials into fake marketplace pages, or literally handing their passwords to strangers. If this makes you want to scream into the void or triple check your MFA, I've actually covered all of this in my How to Lose Your Account in 3 Clicks or Less video. Yes, the one where I gently roast everyone who still uses potato1 as a password. You know who you are, and that's not me blaming the victims. Some of these scams are very convincing, but Brad got real about it. The current delays aren't because staff is lazy or underpaid. They're working weekends, holidays, and through US public holidays to sort the mess out. Brad shared one jaw-dropper. Someone got hacked. The team stepped in, restored the account, refunded the stolen Lindens, changed the password. Then that person changed their password back to the original one. You can guess what happened next. Yep, hacked again. I was shaking my head so hard I almost disconnected from the Zoom call. He also mentioned that people are submitting multiple support tickets about the same issue, which means the team has to cross-reference and untangle everything before they can even start fixing it. As someone who deals with this kind of thing in my real job, I felt that. The backlog is real, the frustration is real, and so are the angry customers who demand instant help, after walking straight into the digital equivalent of a scam van with free candy painted on the side. So please, stop using potato1 as your password. Stop logging in through links on Discord. Just don't. One more thing, charity events. The topic of charity fundraisers came up, specifically whether the new payment system might complicate how those are handled. Brad made it clear he's personally committed to supporting in-world charity work, even saying he'd cover fees himself if needed from his own wallet, not Linden Lab's. He did add, half joking, half serious, that this offer probably doesn't apply if we're talking about $1 million donation. So yes, the intent is solid, but it still has to be realistic. Still, credit where it's due. You don't hear that kind of response in most corporate briefings. Brad's nervous breakdown decoded. The whole thing had a surprising sense of transparency, something we don't often get from a company that usually keeps its cards pretty close to the chest. Brad got real. The team was present. And the changes, while bureaucratic on the surface, point toward a second life that's more modern, more stable, and better protected. It won't all happen overnight. Some of it might annoy you short term. But in the big picture, this is a good move. They're not logging in and dancing at open mic night, but at least we got something close to real talk from the people steering the ship. And in Second Life terms, that's practically intimate. Even Brad. Yes, Brad, I see you. Still not sorry for the memes. But I am listening. Sort of. That's it for now. Tillia got sold, Brad got real. And if smoother payouts and fewer support meltdowns come out of this, I'll be impressed. Until then, change your damn password, stop clicking mystery links, and don't make me explain MFA again. See you in World.